Let's take a look now at two examples. I want to see if you understand how our process works. So we'll start off together. As we go, I want you to pause, do your own work, and then unpause when you're ready to check your work. The intent here of the lessons is for you to do the practice, not just get to the answer. So please take this seriously. Here we go. First step, none of these equations already have the variable solved for. So it's up to us to choose which variable to get by itself. It's not that there's a right and wrong choice, but there is an easiest choice here, and it's this x. The reason it's easiest, there's no number in front of it. To get this x by itself, we just need to take this equation and add the 3y over to the other side of the equal sign. Negative 3y plus 3y goes to 0. And so over here, I've got 3y plus 9. You could also write that as 9 plus 3y. It's the same thing. Now, this x is by itself. The first step of the process is done. So next, go now to your other equation. So in this case, that's the top one. And where you see the letter x, leave some parentheses. So negative 5x minus 3y equals 9. Replace the x with its equivalent expression, the 3y plus 9. Now everything just involves y's. We are good to go. Here's where I'd like you to pause. Try to do the next part on your own. Unpause when you're ready to check. I'm going to distribute that negative 5. Just simplifying now, these y's are on the same side of the equal sign, so put them together like they look. That's negative 18y minus 45 equals 9. Now is when I'm ready to solve and get this y by itself. So a plus 45 and a plus 45. What we then have is those goes to 0, so negative 18y equals 9 plus 45 is 54. Divide by negative 18, divide by negative 18, and check it on a calculator if you like. Y should end up being negative 3. All right, we're in excellent position. We're half done. Now I'm out of space, so I'm going to draw my arrow back over here to finish up. Now that I know what y is, I recommend going back to this equation where the x is already by itself. And where you see the letter y, replace it with the number we think y is. Now simplify. 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. Negative 9 plus 9 is 0. So I think my solution to the system is x equals 0 and y equals negative 3. Let's check it. Make sure that it's right. I hope that matches up with what you have. To check, go back to your original system as it was printed on the paper. There's equation number 1. Here comes equation number 2. Look where they cross. 0, negative 3, 0, negative 3. That means we have done things well. One more here. Take a moment, do a quick pause. I want you to pick which variable is the easiest to solve for. I hope you made your choice. As I'm looking, I think the easiest is going to be this one right here, this y in the top equation. It's because, yeah, it's got a minus sign in front of it, which we'll need to be careful about, but there's no other number. So I don't have to do division that might give me fractions later on. Makes the work a little easier to do. So let's come this way. I'm going to take this top equation. My goal is to get this y by itself. So to do that, let's subtract the x's to the other side. Those go to 0. We're left with, don't forget that negative. It's negative y equals 3 minus 2x. You can also write it as negative 2x plus 3. And then let's do a division by negative 1. Now we do that because really there's a little imaginary 1 in front of that y. So we divide it away. Now, when you're dividing an expression like this, each part of the top gets divided by the bottom. So the 3 gets divided by -1, and the -2x gets divided by -1, which ends up changing the sign to a positive. Step 1 is done. I now have one of the equations solved for one of the variables by itself. Next up, I'm going to go to the other equation, and where I see the letter y, since that's what we solved for, I'm going to replace it with parentheses. So -7x plus 6y equals 2. And in those parentheses goes the equivalent expression for y. At this point, pause your video, try it yourself, unpause when you're ready to check. Distribute. These x's are on the same side of the equal sign, so just combine them as they look. -7 plus 12 is 5. Now I'm ready to solve. I want to get the x by itself, so a plus 18 and a plus 18. Those add up to 0, leaving me with 5x equals 20. Divide by 5, and divide by 5. X is 4, and we're practically finished. Now again, I'm out of space, so I'm going to come back over here. I recommend going back to this equation. That's the easiest one, where the y is already by itself. And where I see the letter x, I'm going to replace it with the number that I found for x. I think x is 4. So simplify. 2 times 4 is 8. -3 plus 8 is 5. So I believe the solution to my system is x equals 4 and y equals 5. Let's check it. Hopefully things go okay. If not, we just go back and look at our work, see if we can find the error. Make sure when you're checking, you always graph the equations you started with. So 2x minus y equals 3, and -7x plus 6y equals 2. Where do you cross? 4, 5, 4, 5. We are in good shape.